Welcome back to Autism Advocating. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are talking about trackers for our kiddos with autism. If you are new here, Autism Advocating, we love sharing resources and tools for parents of children with autism. A little background on us. My name is Beth, and I have a now 7-year-old boy with level 2 autism. He was diagnosed just after his 3rd birthday. He was nonverbal, and we have been working very hard, and I'm happy to report that we have some communication now, and we are working our way through this and sharing our journey with others, so hopefully they can learn from our experience, and those that are just being diagnosed will have tools that took us years to find. So today we're talking trackers. The reason I think this is so important is because I have a child who does wander, but he's a silent wanderer. So he will just kind of drift off without any noise, or he's not one to just bolt like some kiddos. He just kind of sees something that is interest to him, and he will wander in that direction. He also has been very drawn to water. When he was 3, we could not go to any parks or basically anywhere where there were bodies of water around, because he would be attracted to them. So we have learned that if the park has water nearby and it's not fenced in, it's not for us. So these tracking devices that I want to talk to you about today became something for us that once we were not in a secure facility leaving him, we felt that we needed a tracking device. So for example, my son was in autism day treatment program, and their facility was completely fenced, and also they had secure entrances in and out of the building. So children could not come and go. And it was just much easier. Now he's in what you would look like a public school building, where yes, there is someone at the front door, but there are other entrances and exits to the building that he could get out, and then there is nothing to contain him, and there are busy roads and woods and stuff that he could get lost. So when we decided to send our son to this facility, we knew without a doubt we were going to get a tracking device. So I spent a lot of time, a lot of hours researching, and I want to share that with you. But first, we're going to start with what tracking device we use. So I have it here for you to check out today. We use GeoBit. And this is the charging dock, and this is the actual GeoBit. It comes with a couple different attachments. We found that this attachment works the best. It clips right onto his pocket. He knows that when he gets dressed in the morning, his GeoBit goes on his pocket, and it is to stay there, and he does not touch it until we remove it at the end of the day when he's back home with us safely. One thing I will note about the GeoBit that I don't have listed here, my pros and cons, when you are charging it, it does make a clicking sound that you may hear, and it needs to be clicked into place to be actively charging. The app that goes along with the GeoBit will tell you that it's charging, and it will tell you when it's fully charged. It does do a quick charge. So let's run through some of the pros and cons of the GeoBit. And I do want to just make a disclaimer here. Tracking device cannot give you 100% guarantee that your child will be completely safe. Please know that. It is just a tool for you for some peace of mind. So GeoBit can be worn very discreetly. So like I said, it goes in his pants pocket, and his shirt almost always covers it up. They do have additional color accessories that you can put on it. So if you feel like the white stands out too much, you could go for another darker color that would blend in. It can be attached to their shoe. It can be put in their pocket. There's another loop that goes right on the back here. This would pop off, and it does not pop off easily. I have to use a flathead screwdriver, or a butter knife works really well when you don't have one. But you pop this off, another one pops on, and it has a little loop that you could attach. We tried that in the beginning. We attached a string to it, and then we had it in his pocket with just the string coming out of his pocket. But that was a little bit difficult and not trustworthy for us to attach to like a belt loop, and he didn't always have a belt loop. So that's why we found that this one works really well. And we have never had it come off of his pants. So just a little note on that, but I was stating that they have different color accessories that you can put on it if you want it to blend in more. We just have not invested in one at this point. The charging cable here plugs into the back here, and then you will need a USB connection to your plug, your outlet. So that is how that works. Pretty easy. Also, it does have an alert me feature, which is really nice because it gives you notice when he departs a safe location. So you can set up the designated safe locations. For example, our house is a safe location and the school is a safe location. Then you can put a proximity. So whenever we put the proximity on the school, so whenever he were to walk outside of the school building, it will alert me that he has left his secure facility. So we're in Minnesota, it's winter, they go sledding, and every time he goes outside the building, it alerts me, and I can see exactly where he's sledding around the building. So you get to control that feature. If you say you didn't want to be alerted when they left the building, you could put a bigger proximity around the location. Same with at home. If you were to wear it at home, it would alert me. The other thing I want to note that's really important is data protection. This is it says it's a COPPA, a certified data protection. So basically they're encrypting the data through a certified source so that it shouldn't be able to be hacked, which is very nice. Water resistance, it is very water resistant. I can tell you that I was talking to another mom who uses a GeoBit as well. She asked me if we had put ours through the laundry yet. And I'm like, no, we really haven't. We've been pretty good. And 2 days later, we accidentally put it through the washing machine. And it works fine. No big deal. We left it out, let it dry out. I didn't even put it in rice or anything like that. And it's working totally fine. Also to mention here, the battery life on the GeoBit, I charge it every 2 to 3 days just for peace of mind. I don't typically let it go below 30 to 40% just because if he were to wander, I want to make sure that battery still has plenty of life in it. So it does say they last 3 to 4 days. Like I said, I had to go 2 to 3 days before charging, and I just check within the app where the battery life is. Very easy to use. The one con I will note is when it's showing the route, you can check the route. So say we leave home and we go to school, you can take a look at the route. It shows us what route we took. However, it shows it more of a direct line than the specific roads that have been taken. I have not looked into it more specifically to see if we can look at more details, but that is the only con I've noticed. We typically have not had to use the tracing feature, so it hasn't been an issue for us. Big thing to note here is the cost. The device itself is $129, and then they have a monthly fee that goes along with that. You can do a 6-month contract for $12.99 a month, or you can do a 2-year contract, which drops the rate to $8.99 a month. I believe for us, we signed a 6-month contract to begin with to make sure that the device worked well for us. They do have a no contract option. I believe that was $14.99. But for us, this is exactly what we need for our little man. He's rarely not with us. Typically it's at school, so that's where we wanted to make sure we had the features that we needed. It does also have I believe an SOS feature. We have not even, an alert me feature is what they call it. We have not even looked into how that works. So we were specifically looking for the GPS feature. The other wearable GPS tracker that I wanted to note today, besides the one that we're using, is Angelsense. I'm just going to run quickly through some pros. You can see their route and their speed, which is interesting so that you know at which speed they're traveling, whether they're walking or whether they're in a car. You can add a schedule so that the tracker would notify you if your child is not on time. So I see this as more something for a little bit older children that are more independent, or maybe the younger children who ride a school bus and go to public school or something like that. Whereas my son's in more of a dedicated facility for a child with autism. You could set the schedule to notify you when he or she were to leave home, when they were to arrive at school, and it would notify you if your child is not in those locations at the scheduled time. So that's a really interesting and unique feature. Also, the thing about Angelsense that is really nice is you can listen to the environment around them. So, pardon me. So, if your child is, say, not in a location that they're supposed to be, you can tap in and listen to what's going on around them. They do offer no contract options, a two-way talk, so you can talk to your child and hear what your child is saying back to them. Again, really nice if that's a feature that's important to you. And then lastly, to note, they do have some sensory-friendly wearing accessories that your child would not be able to remove the device. One thing I noted was like a belt system, so you can attach that, the GPS as a belt around them. However, they say they're sensory-friendly. Your child may or may not be able to handle that. The one con I will note is the cost. So the device itself is not expensive. Generally, it's $99. Right now, they have a promo for $66. I've seen them offer different promotions where you can get the tracker for free as well. The downfall with the cost, though, that I note is that it's a $39.99 monthly fee for Angelsense. They do offer an annual plan that drops the cost to $33 a month, but that's still a pretty hefty monthly fee. But if some of those features are what you're looking for, it's definitely worth looking into. So those are my top 2 tracking devices. Like I said, we've been really happy with the GeoBit. But one thing that the behavioral therapist mentioned to us recently that my son works with is a tracking watch, and maybe not necessarily for the GPS features, but for some other features. So I just want to touch briefly on the tracking watches. When I've been doing my research, you can Google, GPS tracking watches, and a lot of watches come up. You can buy them off of Amazon, and a lot of them are designed for sports enthusiasts who want a GPS tracker to track for fitness purposes, say they're runners. And so there are a lot of options out there. There are some specifically, and I'm just going to name a couple. Kids Nav was one. Explorer X5 Play Watch was another. The Gator, Find My Kids, all GPS tracking watches designed for kids specifically. However, a lot of them are UK based. And that, for me, like a US based company, I think because they're designed in the UK, I won't know the function and capability here in the US. So I'm not providing you with any recommendations for tracking watches. What I will say is this behavioral therapist recommended to us like a smartwatch for the functionality of my son being able to be a little bit more independent. So I want to just add a little bonus here if you're interested. The Verizon Gizmo 2 is the watch that I found because we are on the Verizon network. It would be a nominal fee, somewhere around $5 a month, depending on the watch you choose. They have a Disney edition watch right now that's a little bit more monthly fee. The actual watch itself costs $99. You can add it to your Verizon plan for, it was under $5 a month with a 2-year contract. The things to note here with the Verizon Gizmo 2 that I liked, they have 2-way calling with up to 10 contacts. So you get to put up to 10 contacts in the watch, and your child can easily call one of those contacts, or they can text as well. They have an SOS button and an auto answer feature, which is really nice as well. Something that our GeoBit does not have, where we can't listen in, and this would give us that functionality. And you can set fitness goals or the to-do feature, which is what was recommended to us. So we put in a time, and the activity that needs to be accomplished at that time, which would help grow the independence and get some accountability to things. So for example, if you're working on potty training, you could set reminders for your child to go to the bathroom, and it gives them some independence to know, oh, you know, it's time to go to the bathroom, and their watch alerts them and they can work on that task. They do have GPS boundaries and the GPS tracker. Like I said, the reviews for the GPS is not great. So for us, I would not choose to do the watch independently. Also, some of the watches have features where it would alert you when they remove the watch. I did not see that for the Gizmo. That's something I'd love to see, as a US-based watch that has reliable GPS, has an alert if they take off the watch, so that we could do one device instead of two. For us, we would probably do two because of the functionality being different for each device. Also, if your goal is to get your kids used to a smartwatch or a smart device, or they're not ready for a phone, this would be a nice introduction. It's up to you. The other thing I will note is the battery life of the watch. They say it's 4 to 7 days. In some, on others, I saw 1 to 3 days. So take it as you will. I think it depends on how much the watch is being activated and used, whether the battery is going to last 1 day or 3 days. But again, if you're not using it for GPS tracking features, maybe not a big deal. So that is my little research findings here for you today on tracking devices and watches. If you have any questions, please leave them below in the comments. Again, this is just my opinion, my experiences, what I have found in my research that I wanted to share with you today. But I'd love to know if you have a tracker that you love, a watch that you love, please let me know in the comments below. Find me on Instagram or Facebook. And if you love this content that we're sharing, please make sure you hit the subscribe button below, and don't forget to ring the bell to be notified when a new video drops. Thanks for joining me today, and we'll talk to you again soon.